Scott.
I appreciate it. I'm Scott Davis, P.O. Box 11315, Knoxville, Tennessee 37939. And unfortunately, I was unable to be here at last month's meeting, but I did go back and watch it on video 2 times. It starts at 1:30 and goes on for a long time. And when the meeting started off with Mayor Jacobs articulating what I thought was a very subsequent, good, laid out reason why the growth policy plan needs to be reviewed. And after I watched the rest of the meeting, I was more confused than I was before it started. And as I watched it the 3rd time, I realized that there's a lot of confusion between the general plan and the growth policy plan. And I can't imagine why, because we have a general plan, a growth policy plan, an urban growth plan, a rural growth plan, a planned growth area, sector plans, 1-year plans, hillside and protection plans, parental responsibility zone plans, technology corridor overlay plans, planned commercial, and planned residential. I can't imagine why or how anybody would be confused by all that. But the general plan and the growth policy plan are completely separate. One has nothing to do with the other. The growth policy plan that was enacted in 2000 was done for a multitude of reasons, but primarily was to address forced annexation, eliminate annexation or incorporation out of fear, establish incentives to annex or incorporate areas where appropriate, and more closely watch the timing of development and the provision of public services. As you all know, the state legislature in 2014 did away with forced annexations. Therefore, the necessity for the growth policy plan was negated. Also, you have to go back to 2000 when County Commission voted on the growth policy plan. County Commission voted not to put a plan together. Tommy Shumpert, the county executive at the time, put forth a plan that had 12 square miles to be included in the growth policy plan. The city of Farragut submitted 1 mile. The city of Knoxville submitted 36 square miles. They further came back and renegotiated, I think came up with 23 square miles or 26 square miles that was part of the urban growth boundary, of which you have the urban growth, the growth policy area, and the rural area, of which it came by default. Everything that was not part of the urban growth boundary or the planned growth boundary automatically became part of the rural area, of which that area, which is all of the remaining part of Knox County, excluding the 23 or 26 acres they agreed to, was to be set up for territory not within one of the other 2 categories, which is to be preserved for agricultural, recreation, forest, wildlife, and uses other than high-density commercial or residential. So by default, the vast majority of the undeveloped land in Knox County became unusable for low or medium density residential. And that plan has not been reviewed since 2000. As you all know, Knox County's changed quite a bit since 2000. This plan was set up to see what growth was going to be going forward for the next 20 years. And it has not been amended and or changed, but the necessity for it is no longer relevant. I mean, we cannot have forced annexations anymore. And so therefore the original impetus for the growth policy plan is gone. The general plan covers Knox County as well as the sector plans. There is no detrimental at all. There's no detriment to Knox County to do away with the growth policy plan. We have the general plans to cover it. We have the sector plans to cover it. And then every development we do is also a planned commercial or planned residential development. We are planned to death. And to think that someone's not confused with 12 different plans out there, I understand why there was so much confusion. But you all really, I'm going to respectfully request that you all go back and watch again what Mayor Jacobs presented and listen to what he said. He articulated a very good argument why this body should request that the state legislature go back and review whether or not the growth policy plan is 1, enforceable, 2, necessary, and 3, accomplishes what it needs to, because it does not. And it creates so much confusion with the general public and conflict between you all and MPC, which doesn't help anybody. And again, I appreciate your all's time and service and what you all do. And I don't do this very often, but I'm going to use the other side's tactic. But all those folks here that are in favor of amending or abolishing or doing away with the growth policy plan, would you please stand up? These are folks that generate revenue, build houses, create opportunity in Knox County, and this affects our livelihood. Thank you all very much.